Aloha everyone, and welcome to Skincare with Hyram. If you don't know who I am, my name's Hyram and I'm passionate about teaching you how to perfect your skincare routine. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. I don't know why I made that face. I feel like it's been a while since I filmed. Has it been like 4 days, 5 days? Yeah. Wow. I have been working on this video for months and months and months. You guys have no idea. This is probably one of the most dedicated to videos I've ever created. And I know so many of you guys have been upset at me because you're like, Hyram, you started a drugstore skincare series. Where the fuck is the rest of the series? I only did cleansers and moisturizers, and I was working on a drugstore serum video, but honestly guys, there's like barely any good drugstore serums out there. I've been struggling to find ones, which is why I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna bypass that for now, put it on the back burner, and just focus on a drugstore sunscreen video. And I quickly realized that I need to try more drugstore sunscreens, and what turned into trying a good 5 sunscreens turned into trying a good 20 sunscreens. I have tried so many and I found so many that are not good. Just white sludge on the face. Oh. Okay, maybe that's not a good term for it, Hyram. Let's think of something else. Puppies and rainbows. Okay, we're back in the Lord's light. I've tried so many sunscreens for this video, and I have found the best of the best drugstore sunscreens to share with you guys, and I'm so excited to tell you some of my favorites because I really found some good golden ones. Because here's been my issue in the past. Sunscreen. You know, it feels like the chore of the skincare routine. The rest of the skincare routine is fun, you know, your cleanser, your cleansing balm, your serum, your moisturizer, and then you get to the sunscreen and it's like, Mom, do I have to? But you know it's the most important. And I always used to hate sunscreen because the drugstore sunscreens I had found were just, oof, no bueno. But over the past year, a lot more sunscreens have come out, significantly improving the overall experience of using a sunscreen. I've already made a video about the best face sunscreens that you can use. I will link it down below. It has my all-time favorite sunscreens, the ones that I think are the best of the best, but the majority of those you have to order online or they're a little bit expensive. But this video is for people who are like, you know what, Hyram, maybe I don't want to spend a lot of money on a sunscreen, or maybe I just want to stick to brands that I'm more familiar with, which honestly I totally respect. You do you, honey boo. I'm not judging. I know, for once in my life I'm not judging. So anyway, I'll quit babbling. Let's just get right into the sunscreens. Now I'll go over each of the sunscreens, what ingredients I like, what skin type they're for, and what category they win. The first one is the Burnout Eco-Sensitive Sunscreen. I believe I found this at multiple drugstores, and I think I inevitably ended up buying it at Whole Foods, but I believe you can also find it at a bunch of different drugstores as well as on Amazon. This one is a zinc oxide only sunscreen, which I should mention, all of the sunscreen in today's video are mineral and are not formulated with chemical UV filters. If you want to know why I don't like chemical UV filters, go to the video in my description box below. I explain it all there, but for all intensive purposes, I'm just going to be doing mineral-based sunscreens in this video. This one has non-nano zinc oxide. It's fragrance-free. It has caprylic triglyceride and glycerin, so it's really going to hydrate and moisturize the face. It feels like a moisturizer, so it's relatively lightweight. And out of all the sunscreens in this video, probably has the least white cast. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to do a rating of white cast like Dr. Dre. I'm going to have my Dr. Dre moment. I'm going to have a white cast rating of 3, 1 being the least white cast and 3 being the most white cast. And this one definitely has a rating of 1. It's not too expensive. And I'd say for a category, this one is the best sunscreen for all skin types. I think this would work whether you have dry skin, whether you have oily skin, and if you have sensitive skin as well. This is just an all-around good sunscreen that I really enjoyed using. Oh, by the way, all the products that I talk about in today's video are listed in the description box below. If you do feel like purchasing any of them, I would really appreciate it if you use those links, as I make a small commission that helps to support me and my channel. And it would mean a lot considering how many friggin' sunscreens I used in preparation for this video. But again, those links are just a resource for you. No pressure to use them whatsoever. I'm just letting you know they're down there. Thanks, guys. Now for dry skin, I say the best sunscreen is the SunBum Mineral SPF 50 sunscreen. This one kind of surprised me because I was generally familiar with SunBum sunscreens, and then for some reason I thought they used chemical UV filters in their mineral sunscreens, and then turns out for this one they don't. This is a zinc oxide sunscreen only, and that's what I love about most of the sunscreens that I'm using today. Most of them are only with zinc oxide, and zinc oxide, in my opinion, is the best sunscreen ingredient out there. I love to see it, and I was specifically impressed with this one. Now, the reason I think it is for drier skin is that the second ingredient is coconut oil. Now, you guys know I don't like raw coconut oil, putting that on your face, but when it's formulated in a product, I think it's fine so long as you have dry skin. If you have oily skin, I don't think it's a good option for you. But this one's also formulated with shea butter, cocoa butter, and sodium hyaluronate, a concentrated form of hyaluronic acid to help draw in moisture from the air into your skin. It's definitely a formula where the second I saw it, I was like, ooh, okay, this is a very, very, very hydrating formula. But the thing that surprises me is this has a very strong coconut smell. And as soon as I got it, I was like, wait a second, I thought this was fragrance free. And I was looking at the ingredient list and I was like, I don't see fragrance anywhere. And honestly, I think it's due to the shea butter, cocoa butter, and the overwhelming amount of coconut oil in this product. I really do think that's what makes the smell, which is nice. I love love it when I see really good ingredients that also have a natural aromatic component to them, because they're not being added solely into the product just for the smell. They have a purpose. That being said, I'd say as a white cast rating, this has a rating of 2. It blends in, but I wouldn't say it's the most severe of the sunscreens that I have. Overall, I like using this one specifically on my cheek area where it is more dry. And being that I know SunBum is like everywhere, this one's really easy to find. If you have oily skin, this one I'm so excited about. This was the most last minute purchase that I made for this video, and I'm so glad I did it because this product is Balm.com. It is the Bare Republic Mineral Sunscreen Lotion for the body, SPF 30. Now you're thinking, Hyram, body sunscreen? Why would you put a body sunscreen on your face? Here's the thing, they have 2 different formulas, the one for the body, the one for the face. Looking at the formula, they are nearly identical. I don't see a huge difference. And this doesn't have any ingredients that are like bad for the face. The reason why I recommend the bigger body one is, first, it's the same price as the face one, and the face one is a lot smaller. But when I used the face one, this one burned my eyes so freaking much. Like, okay, bitch, it was really bad. I was on my way to work out at the park. I had just put this on my face. I'm driving and slowly becoming blinded by this damn sunscreen to the point that I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna crash the car because I can't see anything. I'm gonna hit someone. I could not see shit. And I was like, okay, bye-bye sunscreen. Oh, I forgot my coffee and water were down there. Why does stuff like this always happen to me? But I never experienced that with the body one. But the reason why I think this one is amazing for oily skin is that it's a gel lotion. It absorbs into the skin so freaking easily. Like, it's crazy how quickly it absorbs. It really does feel like a gel moisturizer. According to my standards, it is fragrance free. It does have some natural extracts that some people could consider fragrance, but I personally don't. And considering how hard it is to find a really good drugstore sunscreen, this one passes my standards. And it also has a lot of good natural extracts that are hydrating and soothing to the skin. Aloe extract is the second ingredient, which is super impressive to me. And as far as white cast, I personally would label this as a 1, but I'd say if anything, it would be right between the 1 and the 2. But overall, I hardly notice a white cast with this one. And I'm just so impressed, and I will definitely be using this a lot in the future. Next is a sunscreen that I've come to love that I would say is good if you want a tinted sunscreen. Something that's not quite makeup, but still gives you a little bit of color correction to make sure you aren't looking extra red. And this one came in clutch. When my skin was going through it, it was sensitive, red, reactive for a few weeks, and I was like, okay, I just need to minimize my skincare routine, take care of that, and then go back to business as usual. But it's the CeraVe Hydrating Sunscreen SPF 30 Face Tint. Sheer Tint. This one, of course, like all other CeraVe products, has a really good ingredient list. But fun fact, as opposed to some of their other products, this is also formulated with salicylic acid. So for anyone who does have oily skin, or you're worried about something that does have a tint or is makeup-like is going to block your pores, that ingredient could help to make sure that your pores aren't getting blocked. But also has sodium hyaluronate, niacinamide, one of my favorite ingredients ever. And the tint in this one is honestly great. I think it's a perfect balance between a regular sunscreen and a tinted moisturizer. I have grown to love this one more than this one. I have always talked about this sunscreen from the drugstore, the CeraVe Standard Hydrating SPF 30, because of the ingredients, how much protection it provides. But in terms of a white cast rating, I would label this as a 3. It definitely has the most white cast out of all the sunscreens that I use, and I've always been fine with it because I'm like, hey, it has the best ingredient list, and even though it does have a white cast, you really have to work it up before applying it onto your skin. And this obviously doesn't apply to everyone because people with darker skin tones wouldn't be able to use this product, which is why I recommend going and watching my video about the best sunscreens for darker skin tones or using this one. But I think for some people when it comes to this sunscreen or other drugstore sunscreens is that they'll take a duop and just go like that and then like rub it a little bit and they're like, oh my gosh, the white cast is so bad. And I'm like, girl, you have to work it into your skin a little bit more than that. These types of sunscreens, I put it into my hand, I work it up really warm it up and then put it onto my skin and then really warm it into my skin for a good minute. And that's the way that I notice the least amount of white cast. It's a difficult thing about a lot of drugstore sunscreens, but hey, because of the ingredients and the accessibility, I'm willing to put up with it. But yes, as a tinted sunscreen, I think this one is the best and it's become one of my new favorites. If you have sensitive skin, the one that I always recommend is the Neutrogena Dry-Touch Zinc SPF 50 sunscreen. I've talked about this one before. I really like it because in terms of ingredients, it has the most minimal and non-sensitizing list I've seen. It's zinc oxide only. It's formulated with colloidal oatmeal, which is going to be great for reducing that sensitivity and redness, as well as feverfew extract, another ingredient for reducing irritation, and glycerin to hydrate the face. That one definitely does have a white cast as well, but when you work it up enough, it can definitely work, and it's a great option for anyone who has really sensitive skin that's going to react to anything. That's the best one to go with in my opinion. For the final sunscreen, I would label this as the best luxury drugstore sunscreen, because honestly, some sunscreens at the drugstore, I'm like, whoa, that's more expensive than the usual sunscreens that I use from Korea. Don't buy into the myth that drugstore is always cheaper. It's not. This one is a recent find though that I would consider to be luxury because it's more expensive, but the ingredient list and the experience, oh, incredible. I'm trying to say incredible in French. Is it obvious I failed French? It is the Versed Guards Up Zinc sunscreen. This one I recently discovered. I believe it recently came out and a lot of people have been posting about it. And I have to say, from an experience standpoint, I really enjoyed this one. In terms of a white cast, it has a little bit of a tint to it. I would say for my skin, it's definitely a 1. But if you do have darker skin tones, this may be a little bit too light for your skin. But for me, I consider it a 1. It blends into the skin so nicely, but the ingredients, it has zinc oxide only, propanediol, which is going to hydrate and reduce sensitivity in the skin, apple extract, which has some mild exfoliation abilities, bisabolol, which is going to be great for reducing sensitivity. It's an extract from chamomile, and chamomile does a great job of doing that. It has hydrolyzed jojoba esters, so you're going to be getting the jojoba oil hydration and protection that it provides. And one of the primary ingredients is moringa seed oil, an ingredient I don't find in many skincare products, but it is amazing. One of the best plant oils out there, in my opinion, because it reduces sensitivity, it calms the redness in the skin, it helps to prevent transepidermal water loss, so really keeping that moisture up. And it's hydrating but not greasy like you find with the other sunscreen that has coconut oil. The finish of this sunscreen was awesome. My skin always felt like mattified but not dry. Never left my skin super greasy. But the main downside with this product is that it is so small and it's the most expensive sunscreen out of all the sunscreens in this list. And with the amount of sunscreen I use, this baby doesn't last too long. But I have to say, out of all the drugstore selections, this is definitely one of my favorites. Hi, it's Editing Hyram. I just realized that I completely forgot to talk about one of the sunscreens. I don't know how I forgot. I don't know what happened. Hyram, where you at, bro? It's the All Good Mineral Sports Sunscreen SPF 30. This one is only formulated with zinc oxide, and it has some awesome ingredients like green tea extract, one of my favorites for reducing redness and sensitivity. The first ingredient is aloe leaf juice, so definitely impressed by that. It has a lot of beneficial plant oils that are good antioxidants and good for soothing the skin. It has calendula, bisabolol, sunflower seed oil, rosehip oil, sodium hyaluronate. So many good ones that I was honestly like, why did I forget to include this? I literally used it this morning. This one, like the name I would say, is great for sports or if you are more active or if you're out in the sun because it is water resistant, and I noticed that it's pretty lightweight. In terms of a white cast scale, I would say it's right in between 1 and 2, somewhere right around there. For my skin, it's more of a 1, but I feel like for darker skin tones, it would be more of a 2. But the awesome thing about this one is that it never felt heavy as I was like working out in the morning and doing other active stuff. No, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. But yeah, great one that I'll have linked down below. And those are all the sunscreens, everyone. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Let me know. Like I said, I spent a lot of time and energy trying to find good sunscreens, and these are truly what I believe to be the best of the best out there. And I hope that in your shopping at drugstore or online or on Amazon or my links below, I'm kidding, that one of these will be a great option for you. But like I said before, if you are open to other sunscreen options, you can check out my other video where I have my best sunscreens of all time and my video about the best sunscreens for darker skin tones. Feel free to check both of those out. But I hope this one helped you a little bit. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah.